Will Eren losing his humanity save mankind from the threat of the Titans, or will Annie have the last laugh? Find out in my review of Attack on Titan, episode 25, the last episode of the first season. Words. I don't have too many of them. All I can say is this final episode of Attack on Titan was incredibly exciting, and at least it ended on a note showing that things could possibly pick up in the future. And let's face it, with the success of this series, there is definitely going to be a second season. I don't know if there's going to be a second season of Attack on Titan anytime soon. What I can tell you is that the very first season of Attack on Titan was truly a roller coaster ride of an anime, and truly demonstrates why anime is such a popular medium in the first place. It has it all. The characters, the artwork, the action, the music, the atmosphere, the friggin' lighting. Yes, even the lighting in this series just makes you want to jack off to it. It's of course got all of the classic anime symbolism. You'll definitely see that with the ducks in this episode. But at the core of it all, I'm kind of a manly guy, and I like to see a lot of action, and this episode demonstrated a ton of that. This episode really appealed to me because we finally got to see Eren squaring off against Annie in one of the most no-holds-barred, badass action fights I've seen in a while, and it was truly brutal in every single punch and kick that they threw at each other. Let's just talk about the fact that whenever they punch or kick each other, entire limbs fly off their body, and they continue to still fight each other. I loved that scene where Annie actually kicked through Eren's leg and sent it flying, and then he still managed to come back and just deck her right in the face. I think one of the coolest highlights for the battle, though, was that one part where Eren just started to get the fuck beaten out of his head when Annie is just repeatedly pounding him in the face. He went through sort of this, like, weird transformation where he had, like, all these markings all over his body. I don't know if this was just him healing or anything, but it looked really cool. It looked like these tribal symbols, and it looked like fire was just coming out of his body. Maybe it's like a special power he hasn't developed yet. All I know is he starts running at Annie, even though he's got, like, missing limbs and shit, and then just starts to, like, pile drive her and beat the fuck out of her. I especially love the scene where he punched her in the arm and her arm went flying across the city, and then it slammed into the bridge, and the arm actually grabbed it. Like, just little touches like that made this episode really exciting. But there was also a lot of darkness to this episode that was very creepy, and some of it was a little cliched. But you basically get to see the extent of the damage their battle is causing, you know. Even though this is to save humanity, there's a lot of casualties in the process. You get to see that a lot of innocent civilians end up getting killed, and there's even the stereotypical scene of the little girl walking down the street crying, looking completely mind-fucked. However, I did have to chuckle at that scene where all the people in the church at the beginning, the people who, like, worship the walls and everything, I just thought that was very funny that that was the building that Annie smashed into. The whole bit with Captain Erwin and the military police still bothers me. I don't like the fact that even though this is, like, for the greater good and everything, they're still pointing a gun right at Erwin's face. It's like, what's the point in even fucking killing a human? That's gonna do nothing for the sake of mankind. As Eren is about to literally finish off Annie, there's this scene where they literally start to, like, fuse together. I'm not sure what to make of it. And intercut between all of this are these flashbacks of Annie as a kid, and we still don't really know much about her backstory, and that does kind of bother me a little bit, but I'm sure that it'll be elaborated on a little bit further in the future. So here's what I'm guessing. Essentially, Annie is, like, taking all of Eren's power and using it to trap herself in this weird Ganondorf-like crystal. I'm not sure what to make of it. All I know is it's a great way for Annie not to get caught, and they can't seem to even break into the damn thing. She'd look great next to Han Solo in Jabba's palace. The episode ends almost somberly when you get to see that everybody is reflecting on the fact that this entire operation, in a way, was a complete failure because they can't even talk to Annie and get any information out of her. But at the same time, Captain Erwin is talking with a lot of the higher-ups, and he's saying, well, you know what? This is just the first step towards our first counterattack. And that's when things start to pick up. I love when you get to see Eren is getting ready, you know, he's getting all pumped up, he's eating. And then there's the scene where he's starting to sleep, and of course this is very symbolic. Maybe for the next season, just taking a nice long rest before we get to the next season. And we get a little montage shot of all the different characters, and we get the music that starts to pick up that gets you all spine-tingly. And then there's this one shot at the very end of the episode that freaks me the hell out, and I'm not sure if it means that a Titan is getting ready to burst through the walls or not, but it's creepy nonetheless. They actually pan up to the wall that Annie was crawling up, and then all of a sudden, a piece of it just explodes out, and you see this creepy-ass Titan face, which almost looks like the Colossal Titan. So what a crazy way to end the series. They even give you a little bit of montage of all the cool moments that ends during the credits. So many cool stuff here. So, awesome episode of Attack on Titan. It sucks that it has to be the final episode of the series because it was a great anime series. It's easily one of my favorite series of all time now, and thank God Funimation has decided to license it. And it just makes me want to start watching it again from the beginning. And even though I'm tempted, I'm not going to read the manga series. I know it's really, really popular. But, you know, I've told you guys multiple times that I just really prefer watching anime to reading manga. That's just the way I am. I just like the visual, you know, prowess of it all. So even though this is the end of Attack on Titan right now, there are some other great series that's getting ready to start up in the fall lineup. There's a brand new Gundam anime that I'm definitely going to start reviewing. But one that I'm really excited for is Kill La Kill, which is a brand new anime from Studio Trigger. They're the guys who worked on Gurren Lagann. So you just know this is going to be a beautiful series. So I'd go as far as to say that Attack on Titan is definitely one of the best anime I've ever seen of all time. It's my favorite one that I've seen this year so far. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for this incredible series. You know, it's been picked up by a lot of different people. There's a lot of brand new video games that are coming out, like a 3DS game. They're talking about trying to make a live-action movie. And the manga is still going strong. And apparently it's going to end at around 20 volumes. Supposedly that's what they said, the author said. So really, really great. I enjoyed it so much. This episode was fantastic. I have no choice. I have to give it a 10 out of 10. It was just so incredible. And make sure and check out this series if you haven't seen it. It's definitely got way more ups than it has downs, and it's just a beautiful series to look at. So there it is. I loved this episode so much. But what about you guys? How did you feel about the final episode of the season of Attack on Titan? And tell me your thoughts about the entire series as a whole. How did you feel about it? You can let me know with your comments below. And before you guys go, make sure and give this video a thumbs up. And also, before you leave, I actually did a full reaction to this episode. You can see my reaction to the entire thing. The intro, the outro, the entire thing. So make sure and check it out right up top. Thumbs up and subscribe. So, I will see you next time, guys. It has been an honor reviewing this series for you guys. And I'm sure we're going to have some discussion videos for Attack on Titan in the future. I know that Christian has a lot he wants to say as well. So, there it is. I will see you next time, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.